The sight and smell of dust and old papers piled up usually disgust many, but for me, it's a sense of comfort. It reminds me of when I used to wait for my dad to come home so we could spend hours sorting and reading through our favorite comics. Most people have experience with comics, even if it's reading the Sunday funnies and waiting for your newest storyline of your favorite comic to come out. Comics have a significant history, and the power of comics may surprise not only their readers, but all. Comics began in the 19th century. This is when there was a war in the newspaper that used serialized comic strips to attract readers. In the 1930s, the magazine comic style debuted, a cheap demand for entertainment during the Great Depression. For example, 133, Funnies on Parade, and 134, Famous Funnies. By 1938, this is the first of all original comics, and this is when Action Comics #1 introduced the most famous superhero, Superman. The comics are split into 4 ages. The first is the Golden Age. This began in 1938 to 1956. This is when American comic books debuted the superhero archetype, such as Superman, Batman, Captain Marvel, and Captain America. Next is the Silver Age that debuted in 1956 and went all the way to 1970. This is when DC Comics in 1956 debuted their famous speedster, The Flash. Then we had the Bronze Age that started in 1970 and went all the way to 1985. This is when traditional superhero titles still continue, but with a return of dark plot related to social issues that were happening at the time. And then last we have the Modern Age, which went from 1985 to all the way to present day. Characters were redesigned and independent comics flourished. This is also called the Dark Age of Comics due to serious content. With the continuous refinement of storytelling allowed us to receive the classics. Number 1, DC. It was owned by Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson in 1934, and DC Comics is in the world due to its foundational role in iconic characters. First was Superman in 1938, where he debuted in Action Comics #1, and their famous Cape Crusader Batman, who debuted in 1939 in Detective Comics #27. In 1940, the DC logo was created, and in 1977, the merge of DC Comics Inc. was completed. Muganja said, DC has yet to let their readers catch their breath, as they release an amazing story after another. Next, we have Marvel. In 1939, it was owned by Martin Goodman, but by 1961, comics were created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Otto were published. Their most famous character, Spider-Man, was debuted in his own comic, Amazing Spider-Man #1. By 1963, he had his own series, The Amazing Spider-Man. The success of comics could be attributed to the positive effects. Literacy. Comics boost reading comprehension and allows readers to must read and learn between the lines. It allows readers to visualize and better understand complex narratives. It expands vocabulary and enhances memory due to the visual text and info. It also allows readers to attain information much clearer. ACID and Manhattan conducted a study using comics for a tool in learning science. One group of students was given a comic to learn their lesson, and another group of students were given a textbook. They found that the students who used the textbook did not have as high test scores as the students who read the comics. This is because comics pull in reluctant readers and allow them to be captivated with the info that they are given. It also boosts critical thinking and creativity. Apparini, Suppan, Rudowski had a study that interpreted that comics was a very suitable use as a learning medium and proven effective critical thinking skills and creative thinking. This is because it inspires one to create their own stories through an art form and understand storytelling, structure, plot, character development, setting, and sequence. But not only does it help your educational skills, it also helps your emotional health and social benefits. It allows one to explore character views and different perspectives. But it also allows someone to express himself and allows them to de-stress from the worries of the world. Comics also help create social groups outside of stories, such as a diverse group of characters, and comic book shops and Comic-Cons, which allows people to have a sense of belongingness and purpose. In conclusion, a simple collection of once considered lowbrow entertainment is now one of the most known in entertainment. With a long and ever-growing and refining history of comics to the multitude and benefits founded. Maybe next time you'll see a comic and you will have a new outlook and appreciation for the evolution and power of a single comic strip.